Hello everybody, John Iannotti here, and together with my wife Stephanie, we're known as the Iannottis, and we're also the cruise control couple. We're going to be talking on this webinar about turning your investor training upside down. So everything that you have been taught in the past, we're going to basically turn it upside down and show you a different way of doing real estate investing. Alright, so turning investor training upside down is what we're all about, and we're going to show you a bold new concept that will totally eliminate your competition. It's called REACT. That's reverse engineered agreeable contract terms. And we developed this technique along with a couple others, and we're going to discuss the whole process here on this webinar. So a little background about the two of us. Stephanie, she was a orthopedic technician, a personal assistant to a nationally renowned orthopedic surgeon, internationally as well, for 24 years. She loved her job. She never thought she would leave. She never wanted to go out and work on her own. But once I started doing real estate investing and I needed help, she immediately jumped in to help, and the rest is history. Myself, for 10 years, I was a policeman. Worked my way up to chief of police. My tenure as a chief lasted about a year because I quickly realized that I would rather put politicians in jail than work for them. So what I did next was I went off to the steel mill in our town in Butler, Pennsylvania. That was the best job in town at the time, and made a lot of money, worked a lot of hours, a lot of overtime, but I did not like the job itself. I liked the people I worked with, but I did not like the work, and knew that there was something else out there that I needed to find, and it ended up being was real estate investing. So for the past 17, 18 years now, we've been full-time investors. We've written a bunch of books. We're #1 best-selling authors on Amazon, and with the New Masters of Real Estate that we co-authored with our mentor Ron and a bunch of other people. I think it was actually 12 people that we mentored or coached of the 17 co-authors in the book. That became #1 bestseller. And we're also in 6 other #1 best-selling books of Ron's. And we've become #1 best-selling authors again with the Business Leaders Success Volume #1. We're national, international speakers and mentors. We've actually recently we just became #1 bestsellers again on Amazon with Elite Real Estate Leaders. That's our latest book. And we've done well over 3,000 deals over the years, and that number just keeps on climbing. Here's pictures of a couple of the books, not only on Amazon, but we've been featured on ABC, NBC, CBS News, Fox News, CNN, you name it, we've been on it. And, we're very proud of our books that we've been writing and our appearances. So, what's our why? Why do we do what we do? And it started out with these two. This is Ashley and Brett. That's our daughter and son. And recently Ashley has blessed us with 2 little ones, and that's Henley and Harper. And I thought that between Steph and Ashley, they had my heartstrings, but boy, those 2 little ones, wow. My women definitely have me in the palm of their hand, that's for sure. Okay, why do you need REACT CATs? Well, first off, it totally eliminates your competition. It's used here and across the country daily by ourselves and by our members. It's the only system that will adapt to the market, because whatever is working today is what we're going to be teaching, and you'll have access to on your member-only website. It's a lifetime membership that you buy with us, and it's lifetime updates. Monthly website fee is waived, so there's no more cost. Your training with us is going to continue for life. Our members stick around. They don't go anywhere. They see the value in staying with us and what we teach and actually do. That's the amazing thing, is we actually do what we teach. Email access to ask questions. You can ask a question anytime through email. And 98% of the time it's going to be myself personally answering those emails, not somebody who's been hired by us. The other 2% is my personal assistant, Marla, and she fills in whenever, Steph and I are busy either speaking or traveling, and she knows the system inside and out as well. You also get the opportunity to profit share with us on your deals. Now, guys, I really don't want you to fall into the trap that this is an ant farm kind of a venture with us. We're not really looking to do profit sharing deals with you, because we want you to build your business and you keep all the profits. However, we're here if you need us to partner on deals, and we work with you to market the properties and bring in the funds to hopefully close the deal and make money. But the main idea here is for you to build your business so that you can keep all the profits. And when you're on the phone talking with us, ask about some special pricing, because I'm sure we can always do a little better on the pricing, because we want our people to be happy. We don't want them to feel like they've put their last dime into the training, because if that is the case, we really don't want you to come on as a member, because we're not out to take your last penny. We want you to be a perfect fit with us. And of course, when we're talking to you, we'll go through all that. But we really want you to have the opportunity, though, to come on with us. Let's get into the system a little bit. We created a system called ACT, and that's Agreeable Contract Terms. And guys, this is the yes side of the business, when a seller will give you a discounted price or creative terms right up front. What we like to call a motivated seller. So, if it's a motivated seller and they're willing to do just about anything, it's what we call an ACT, or Agreeable Contract Terms deal. Now, a little history of what you're about to learn. A few years ago, actually 2008, when the crash happened, I call that the short sale era. And back then we did hundreds and hundreds of short sales. I mean, at any given time we had about 150 short sales working any single month. We had 3 different law firms negotiating with the lenders for us around the country. We had the real estate agents were bringing us cash buyers when we had approvals from the banks on short sales. We had a machine going. Then in the summer of 2009, we started what I call the ACT era. Now, the ACT era was, we were getting the agreements to buy the properties from the sellers who were saying yes, that they would do something creative or they'd give us terms. So it was a very, very busy time for us, because it was right after the crash, and the sellers were still very motivated, so it was easy to work with them. Then in August 2011, we actually taught ACT for the first time from the stage to over 250 people, and since then thousands have been taught this technique that we developed. Then came the REACT era, which we're in now. REACT stands for Reverse Engineered Agreeable Contract Terms, and in February of 2014 we decided to teach the no side of the business to our members. Now, since then, thousands are learning REACT as well as ACT. So today we're seeing it more of a seller's market, so the sellers are not very motivated to give us terms or good pricing. So that's why REACT is taking off like crazy. Well, then in September of 2014, we married the two systems together, the ACT and REACT, and we called it CATS, which is the Complete Agreeable Terms System. So we took the yes side of the business and the no side of the business, put it together into the complete agreeable terms system. So now you're basically eliminating your competition, and any lead that comes across your desk, you should be able to do something with it. Now, guys, the 3 hardest ways to make money as a real estate investor, and I want to preface this by telling you that yes, they're hard ways to make money, but we still do all 3 of them. So I'm not telling you not to do them. I'm just saying there's an easier way. So the 3 hardest ways to make money as a real estate investor, that's wholesaling, rehabbing, and landlording. Are you having trouble getting that 65% of value discount from sellers? Everybody's chasing those deals. Can you afford to tie up thousands of dollars, deal with contractors holding costs, and hope you sell a rehab? Do you want to babysit tenants, deal with their plugged toilets, trash, and damage to your properties? What about vacancies? When it goes vacant, there's no income coming in. That hurts you. Well, there is a better way, guys, and that's called the complete agreeable terms system, the yes and the no business of real estate investing. Check out investorpointman.com. investorpointman.com. There's additional training on there. Put your information in. We want to talk to you. We want to see about possibly if you're a perfect fit for us, and that we're a perfect fit for you, so that we can become lifetime members with our system. So here's what you're going to learn. Most guys will teach us 5 steps to being a successful real estate investor. We actually teach 6. And how to make money with no credit, money, or contractors. Those 3,000 deals I mentioned earlier that we've accomplished? That's all with no credit and none of our own money, guys. So we don't teach using your credit. We don't teach using your own money. We like to do it with no money, no credit, and preferably no contractors. But, we still use contractors here and there. So how do we do as many deals per month as you want? We're going to show you that. How to make a minimum $10,000 per deal. Now there again, that number could be 2,000, 5,000, 10, 100,000. Whatever you want that number to be is what your number will be. But you should be able to make at least 10,000 per deal. Do you need a license to do this system? No, you don't. And how to get the benefits of ownership without owning it. I tell everybody I don't want to own any more real estate, but I do want to control the world. So as long as I can control real estate and get the benefits of owning it without owning it, that's the way I want to go. How to put it all on cruise control. A few years ago we moved to Florida from Pennsylvania. So now we run our business in Pennsylvania from Florida, and we're also running our nationwide business with React Cats from Florida, but it's all on cruise control. So we'll show you how we do that, and then you can see if that's a fit for what you want to be doing as well. It all starts with seller-friendly terminology, guys. If a seller is confused, they always say no. So we came up with some seller-friendly terminology that's softer, more subtle, and they understand it. And then they seem to be more willing to work with us, even if they're saying no. So instead of saying contract or documents, we use the term agreement. It's a little softer. Instead of saying buyer or tenant buyer, we always use the term funder. And a funder is anyone who brings cash to the table for us to do the deal. It could be a hard money lender, private money, IRA funds, a buyer with cash, or a buyer with a loan. It could be a tenant buyer. All those sources fund our deals. Investor. A lot of times sellers get turned off when they hear, yeah, I'm an investor, because what first thing they think of is, well, you're going to lowball me, you're going to try and steal my house. It just not good. And so we decided to change the terminology on an investor. So if they say, "Are you an investor?" I say, "Well, our company buys properties. Some we keep for our own portfolio, and some we pass on to others." And then I shut up. And then they're fine. They go, "Oh, okay." Marketing. Instead of saying we're going to market the property, what we're going to say is we will submit our signed agreement to our funders for their approval. Once we hear back from them, we will let you know what they say and schedule a closing as quickly as possible. Now that's a nice, soft way of saying we're going to market this, and without saying that's what we're doing. But we're letting them know without putting it right in their face. Okay, let's go back into ACT. Remember, agreeable contract terms, the yes side of the business. Now these properties, they can be not so pretty, or they could be pretty. The deal is structured according to the price or terms that the seller is telling us they will do. We match up our funder with the agreements that we have. Now we got to do two, I call it the 2 A's. We keep it affordable to the funder, and by what I mean by that is we look at market rents. And if market rent is $1,000 a month, and our PITI on this particular property that they're interested in is right around $1,000 a month or less, we've got something that might work. So we keep it affordable for our funder. Then the other A is we got to make it attractive to the seller. So in today's world, where most of them want cash, full retail price, or even more than retail price, we've got to come up with something that will be attractive to the seller. We have to sell it to the seller that it's in their best interest that they take the funding offer that we have. And I kind of relate it to like back in the short sale days when we used to have to sell it to the lenders that they had to take less money than what was owed on the property, and we had to sell it to them. Now we have to sell it to the seller. Go find our funder who can do the price or terms that we have with our seller, and we go cash our check. It's as simple as that. Very simple process. Now with REACT, remember that REACT is reverse engineered agreeable contract terms, or basically the no side of the business. So all the leads you get in that they're not motivated, that you used to throw away or throw on the floor, now you can do something with these leads. I mean, you paid good money to get all those leads, and the majority of the leads you're going to get are the no leads, so why throw them away? And again, these leads can be not so pretty houses or pretty houses. Then we reverse engineer the deal according to price or terms that the funder can do. Remember with ACT, it was with the price and terms that the seller will do. With REACT, it's what the funder can do. So we match up the funder with the agreements. Again, we do the 2 A's, make it affordable to the funder, and we use market rents as our guide. And we make it attractive to the seller, and here's where you got to sell it to the seller, especially on the REACT type deals, and present the funding price terms to the seller, and then cash your check. Again, simple process, just like ACT. REACT is the same, very simple. Okay, so those 6 steps to become a successful real estate investor. One of the first steps is you have to locate funders. Notice I didn't say sellers first. Everybody teaches go get the houses. Well, we're teaching go get the funders first, because if you have cash in your hand or a funder in your hand, it's a lot easier to go in and get properties. Now, the first thing we actually want you to do, though, before you go even get your funders, is we want you to become legal and compliant. And how do you do that? Well, you have to take your master agreement that you're going to use with every single seller that's in our system. We have 2 of them in there. Take those to your real estate attorney, who is also hopefully a real estate investor, and hopefully they own their own title company, escrow company, or closing company. And if it's an all-in-one shop, those are the guys we want to work with, and see if they will approve one of the two agreements that we have in our system. If they do, fantastic. If they want to change them, that's okay. If they want to scrap them and create their own for you, that's fine. If they want to use the real estate agent's agreement, I'm okay with that. The only thing I'm going to ask you to do is make sure that the protection clauses that we have in our system are in the master agreement that's approved by your attorney to use with every single seller. After that, you became legal and compliant. You're locating funders. Now you go find your sellers, because your funders are going to tell you where they want to live, what type of property they want. So now you go locate the sellers in those markets and get properties for your funders. You present your offers and agreements. You apply the complete agreeable terms system. Close quickly. And that's it. Simple as that, guys. Okay, let's locate some funders. Definition again of a funder is anyone who brings money to the table to do our deal. It's hard money, private money, IRA money, buyer with a loan, tenant buyers, all those sources fund our deals. We determine what the funder will pay or terms they will do to get into a property. So basically what we're doing is we're pre-qualifying our funders to see what they can do. I will tell you, most of the funders you drive in are going to be nothing more than renters. They're not going to be able to buy. They're not going to be able to be tenant buyers. So you've got to constantly be building that funder list, because a funder will only last for probably 30 to 45 days. Because if you don't find them something now, they're going to find it from somebody else, because they're in the mode of finding something, a home to live in. So you have to move quick and make sure that you can provide that property for them. We run qualification checks once we have a funder who is interested in a specific property. And we have a service that handles that. They run credit checks, background checks, Megan's Law check, that is for sexual predators, employment check, landlord check, debt to income check. They can tell us we should be able to get them financed today or 6 months or 12 months down the road. So that's what the pre-qual checks are once we have a funder who is interested in a specific property. Locating sellers. Excuse me, guys. Probably since 2000, I think it was 2005, our number one source of finding sellers is for sale by owner. It hit me one day. It's like, wow, why didn't I think of this? For sale by owner, every one of them has a house for sale. Whereas if I do newspaper ads or mailings or flyers, that kind of stuff, I don't know if I'm hitting people that have a house for sale. But with for sale by owner, the beauty of it is every single one of them has a house for sale. So that's been our number one source of locating sellers. Then for rent by owner is another great source for us, because a lot of people turn to renting because they can't sell their property. So for rent by owner is a great one as well. Now the MLS, I don't buy off the MLS because there's too much competition there, but what we do use the MLS for is expired listings, withdrawn listings, canceled listings, and then we do mailings to those folks. You can buy a list of names, probate, absentee owners, high equity, free and clear, upside down. These are all great lists that you can mail to. You can run print ads. Now here again, if your newspaper is cost prohibitive, then don't run print ads. But if you're fortunate enough that you can get into a lesser cost paper, green sheet, shoppers, that kind of stuff, then I would definitely do print ads. It's a good way to get some leads as well. Your vehicle needs to be lettered up. I didn't say it needed to have a wrap. I said it needed to be lettered up. Wraps are for pictures, graphics, and people only have so much time to see your vehicle going by. So they don't want to see your picture. They don't want to see a picture of a house or trees or whatever. You want the message to get to them. You only got so many seconds for them to read the message. It's I buy houses, we buy houses. Your website, your phone number, that kind of stuff. So keep it simple. Yard signs, bandit signs, man, they work. But code enforcement sometimes becomes a pain. So if you can get away with it, I definitely like bandit signs. Posters, flyers, business cards. Guys, those things still work. Use them. Get the word out. Brand yourself. You want people to know that you're the go-to person whenever they're looking for a house or they're looking to sell one. Now, 94% of all real estate transactions start online. So you have to have a website and you have to do online advertising. It's free online, so why not advertise there? Your website, you've got to have a website, guys. Whether you're looking for buyers or sellers or even private money, you gotta have a website. So get one and don't spend all your time trying to build one. I mean, you can get simple ones out there. They're canned, and all you gotta do is put your contact information in, and you got a website. Just get a website and get online advertising. Direct mail, yellow letters, that kind of stuff, postcards, still works. The only thing with those are they're a little expensive. So if your budget is not that big for marketing, then I would recommend that you do more online marketing. Guys, here's our property data sheet, our PDS. We changed this when we started getting more React deals. It was more geared towards ACT kind of deals, so the verbiage on here, the scripting and what have you, was more towards ACT. Well, today we see more React deals, so we changed everything on here. So you'll have that, and that's all in the system as well. Now, present your offer, an agreement. Now, in today's market, what we're doing is we give the seller whatever they want. If they want cash, they want full retail price, or they want more than retail price, we don't care. We're going to give them what they want so that we get what we want, and what we want is an agreement. Okay? We need an agreement to buy, and we need that signed so that we can start doing our magic with what we do. Now, don't forget, control your asset, CYA. What do I mean by that? It's use our protection clauses to protect your asset, which is your agreement. So you could say control your agreement as well. And you've got to have our protection clauses in there, though, so that so you're protected and you can do the business the way we do it. Okay. We want to close every single deal that we get under agreement. Every single one of them. Why? Because there's potential profit in every lead and every deal. So every one that we get under agreement, we want to close. The real wealth is staying in the deal. So our goal is to stay in as many of these as possible, not to just, flip the agreement. We are looking to stay in as many as possible. Now, if the numbers don't make sense for us to stay in the deal, but it still makes sense to close the deal with the seller and the funder and us make money in the middle, do it. I mean, most of the deals are going to be that way, but the ones that you can stay in, you want to stay in. So you just keep repeating the system over and over again, doing everything we just talked about. Closing quickly. We get the seller and funder info along with our renegotiated deal to the attorney. The attorney will create whatever agreements are necessary to get the deal closed. You don't have to figure out which agreement do I use, what do I do, what do I fill it in. You don't do that. You let the attorney do that. He's the professional. Your cost to close, nothing, because seller's normal customary closing costs are on the seller. Buyer's normal customary closing costs are on the buyer. If you're stepping out, then it's on the seller and the buyer. If you are staying in the deal, then and doing a sandwich lease option, you're going to be the funder on the with the seller, and there's going to be costs for you, and then you're going to be the seller with the funder, and there's going to be costs for you. So they're minimal, but be prepared. You're going to have possible closing costs if you stay in the deal. Cash your check and keep doing it over and over. Boy, does this sound familiar? I mean, this cash and check stuff. Oh, I love it. Going on cruise control. Guys, you need a team. You really need a team. And you need virtual assistants. We've been using virtual assistants now for well over 12 years. And, started out with 2 of them, and I think we're up to 9 now. But the great thing about a virtual assistant is you're paying them by the minute, not by the hour. So they're not sitting around the office getting paid by the hour. They're virtual, and they're paid by the minute. It's fantastic. They do a wonderful job. Got to have a phone system. There's tons of them out there. I'm not going to go into all of them, but it makes you look big, it makes you sound bigger, and it keeps track of all your calls. You got to have a contact management system. We have our own. It's called DealFlow, and DealFlow, we've been using it since 2005, and what it does is it's not only a contact management system, but it has it auto fills our agreements. We can have all our pictures, our videos, notes. It does text blasting, voicemail blasting. It does all kinds of things. It's a direct mail system. It does it all. But once you get in as a member, then we can show you all that as well. But that now for that there is an additional monthly charge. But that's not us. That's DealFlow. Now, once you get more advanced, you're going to want to have an acquisitionist to go out and get your agreements for you and meet with your funders. You don't want to be doing that because your time is better spent doing other things like building your brand and building your business. You'll need a closing coordinator once you get going too, because they basically hold your purse strings. So you want someone to follow the deal from getting the agreement to finding the funder to getting all the documents over to the attorney or title company, escrow company, closing company to get it closed and get it closed as quickly as possible. Here's some big checks, guys. Barry on the left here, he's got $9,800 check. John on the right's got $6,000 over there. And again, investorpointman.com is where you need to be going. There's additional training videos on there. And again, fill in your information so that we can call you and talk to you, because you definitely want to be thinking about coming on as one of our members. How about a testimonial or two? Wow, where have the Iannottis been all my life? I've invested in other educational real estate programs over the years, and none have been so simple. I can't wait to get back to our old leads and make some deals that will work in today's market. Thank you. All the best, Kristen. And Matt wrote, I feel the info with the presentation makes this event the best one-day event I've ever attended. The one day stands out as better than some multi-day events I've attended. The resources provided are also top-notch. Their hands-on experience translates to what looks to be very workable in today's real estate world. How about a couple deals? Let's do an act deal first. This might sound familiar if you've been doing some deals over the years. Girl meets boy, fall in love. They both have a house. She actually gets married to him and moves into her husband's home. So now they got a house sitting there empty that they're paying on. So seller just wanted out of the debt and payments. So she was motivated and she said yes. So what we did was we took a 6-month option to purchase. The terms are the lease payment would be equal to the mortgage payment, and the option purchase price is the balance owed when the option is exercised to purchase. Length of the lease option is the remaining 20 years on the loan in 12-month increments. So basically, guys, what I just did there was took it subject to the existing mortgage without taking it subject to. So we did it with a lease option. So now I don't have the deed. The loan stays in her name. I have control of the property. I get all the benefits of it, and I don't have to worry about the due on sale clause, and I control the property now for the remaining 20 years. Okay, so what we did was we determined that the market rent for the property is $875 a month. The underlying loan is $540 a month, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Loan payoff is $54,000 and the market value is $80,000. So we quickly determined that this is one that we want to keep. So we go to work to find our funder for the deal, and we locate a lease option candidate who has $6,000 down and can pay $875 a month rent. Credit screening tells us that he should be able to purchase within 18 months, but then he went and got hurt on the job, and we had to extend it for an additional 12 months. Are we okay by extending it? And the answer is yes. So we closed the lease option with the seller and our entity, and immediately the same day we closed the sandwich lease option with the tenant buyer and our entity. So the whole time we were looking for our funder, we weren't making payments. When we found our funder, we told the seller, okay, we're ready to exercise our option here to take the property over, and we closed with her and then closed the same day with the tenant buyer. So our profit is $335 a month for 40 months, which is $13,400, $6,000 down, non-refundable option consideration, which means if he buys, he gets credit. If he doesn't buy, he loses the money. The back end is $26,000 minus the $6,000 NROC, or an additional $20,000. So the total profit on this particular property is $39,400 that we don't own, we control. And it didn't cost us any money to get it other than closing costs to buy it in the beginning. It's minor costs to make $39,400. So here's some more checks. Laura and Dave made $19,000 on that check. And let's see, there's Bud and Angela, and they made $40,000 on that particular one. Again, go to investorpointman.com because we need you to get the additional training that's on that site, and we need your information so we can call and talk to you and get you the information you need to make the decision to become a lifetime member of React Cats. All right, this is a good one. This is a React deal. This particular property is a 100-year-old log cabin. So seller wanted $100,000 for his $100,000 log home. How much competition do you think we had for this one? I mean, aren't many buyers out there for 100-year-old log cabins. So we offered him $100,000 all cash on a 6-month option to buy. The seller understood that we would not be moving into the property and that we would be pursuing funding for the deal. And depending on the funding and the final numbers, the seller may be closing with one of our funders or possibly even an end user. So our solution on this one is we located a real estate agent who had a pre-qualified buyer who needed a loan to purchase for $114,900 plus his commission. Now, where do we come up with that price? Well, I plucked it out of air. Remember, I have an agreement to buy for $100,000, so I figured, $14,900 is pretty good on this one. We'll take that. So that's what the price was, and our agents know they just tack their commission on top of our price, and that's what the buyer needs to bring. So the buyer ended up not getting the loan, though. Amazing. The second funder came from our marketing and could not get the loan, even though they were pre-approved. And the third funder from our marketing gets to within days of closing, and the lender pulled the loan again. but they really wanted the property. So we got them a second conventional lender pre-approval, and it looked good till days before closing, and it fell apart because of underwriting requirements. They're told they need an additional 6 months more on their employment to qualify. So we went back to the seller and reverse engineered the deal and asked if they would do a lease option long enough for the funder to get the bank loan. They had already moved out of state. They were making 2 mortgages, and they quickly agreed to doing this with a lease payment equal to their mortgage payments. So the funder moved in, but immediately they didn't want to wait the 6 months to purchase. So he withdrew $114,900 from his IRA account to purchase. We told him that's not a good idea. We didn't think he should do that. He should just wait. And they were afraid of losing the house, so they decided to just go ahead and do it. So the seller got their $100,000, and we made our release fee of $14,900 on this deal. Points to remember on it: all these potential buying terms were discussed with the seller. The seller gave final approval on everything we tried to do with the financing, funding of the deal. The seller knew we probably would not stay in the deal, and the seller got their price and the home sold. Everything above board, nothing was hidden. Everybody knew what was happening. More testimonials. John and Steph are 2 cool cats. They offer the best value for creative deal structuring I have ever seen. On leads I would have thrown out in the past, I was able to make over $31,000 on a single deal using their content and creative deal structuring teachings. I can't thank them enough, for they have truly changed my life. Luke is one of our stars. He's doing great. I'm so proud of him and wish him only the best. This event was very good. John and Steph took their time to explain and answer any questions. Walked through several leads by calling them to show us how simple this is to do. Also gave us a lot of resources to help us be successful. I wish I would have taken this training before we spent $35,000 on another course. Thank you, John and Steph. From Ray. Yeah, me too, Ray. I wish I could have saved that money for you. What can I say? Using John and Steph's program in 1 month, I made over $70,000. Scott, he's another superstar of ours. He's doing well as well. Again, why do you need React Cats? Because it totally eliminates your competition. It's used across the country daily. It's the only system that adapts to the market. It's lifetime membership and updates with the monthly website fee waived. Email access to us to ask questions. Again, I answer most of those questions. Opportunity to profit share on your deals. If you need us, we're there. And again, when you are on the phone with us, ask about some special pricing and we'll see what we can do for you. Again, here's the hard copy of the system. The manual, CDs. Now there's roughly around 28 to 30 CDs and DVDs in the system right now. What I recommend, though, is you to go to instead of having the hard copy, I want you to have the membership website, because everything on there gets updated as soon as we make a change, and you know about it. So go to investorpointman.com, and get the additional training that's on there, and also leave us your information so we can get you on the phone and talk to you about becoming a React Cats member. There are benefits of being a React Cats member, guys. One of them is free lifetime access and updates on your member-only resources website. And one of the tabs, the last one on there, at the bottom says What's New. Anytime you get on your website, I want you to go to What's New to see if anything has been changed, because we're constantly changing things, and it's all we put it into the system, and then we put a note in what's new, so you know exactly what's been changed. Here's another view of it with some of the videos on there with me explaining things. Very, very comprehensive training that's on there. So you can see there are benefits of membership. And as they say, so what's in your tool belt? InvestorPointman.com. Again, I want you to go there, get the additional training, and leave your information so we can contact you, get you on the phone, and get you signed up to be a lifetime member with us. InvestorPointman.com. So let's talk today. Become a lifetime member. Quit chasing the new shiny pennies out there, because if it does work, it'll be on your training website. You'll have it. But we still buy other programs and vet them out to see if they work or not. And if we can show you a new way of doing things, we bring that into our system. Learn and work with myself and Stephanie, who actually are doing deals. You're not going to be talking to somebody who's out in Utah on a call bank, out there that's reading from a manual. You're going to be working with us personally. Our team is ready to talk to you and get you started. So sign in now and let's talk. Remember, InvestorPointman.com. Sign in now. Let's get you on the phone. Let's get you signed up and become a lifetime member. That's so powerful, guys. Lifetime training. InvestorPointman.com. The Iannottis. I want to thank you for coming on to the webinar tonight. And we're so thankful for what real estate investing has done for us. And it's our give back to you to try and teach you how we do things so that you can also be successful as well. So we look forward to seeing you at the top, and may all your children have rich parents. So we'll be talking to you soon. Again, leave your information at InvestorPointman.com, and we'll be there for you. Take care. Bye-bye.